Number 4. Meet cast member Mayowa Ogunnaike.
Mayowa Ogunnaike is one of the performers in the work. She's a British-Nigerian artist with a dark brown complexion. Born and raised in London with a high-range voice, she's in her late 20s, with hair styled in short twists and a tall, athletic build. In the past, Mayowa has performed in works that touch on the Windrush migration and Black history in a more general way. However, this is the first time Mayowa has been part of a show specifically about slavery or colonialism. She spoke to us about her experience dancing in this piece.
As performers in this work, we're like more vessels expressing different potential stories or situations, but it's not related to my like personal stories and experiences and or understanding and like of history and things. But yeah, Seke was quite clear in that he didn't want us to like be emotionally drained in the process, and to like he was like, how can we make a work where I'm not asking the performers to like give the emotions and like trauma.
This piece plays with what's seen and what's unseen. There are a lot of gaps and eerie silences that last too long for comfort. Performers wander the stage, sometimes interacting with each other, other times battling imagined figures. The work invites us into this world to lend our own imagination to the ghostly encounters.
Sometimes we have our eyes closed and we're describing different rooms or things that are happening to us, or we're like fighting against something. The sense of like heightened senses and everyone being quite sensitive in like with touch and sound and voice.
The show is based on a piece of writing by Seke, which she undertook during the pandemic, in the absence of opportunities to dance with others. This text has served as a score for the choreography, a sort of blueprint, and you can experience this for yourself in section 2.
It's also given us a lot of words to improvise from. So, because we did a lot of improv in the start of like devising the piece, but in the actual piece, there's not that much improv. Like a lot of it is set. There's like moments where you can like have some variation, or you know change directions, and you don't have a set pathway in space. But but we know exactly when we start, when it ends, and some of that came from the text quite directly.
Contrasting the moments of unearthly repose, there are bursts of frenetic movement. In one part, Mayowa twitches and jumps for half a minute. She explains how it feels in her body to commit to such physically taxing tasks.
It feels almost like impulsive movement. There's not much like thought behind it. It happens really quickly. And then because of that, then it's like sometimes lots of like tension in the body, but also like relaxedness as well. And like it feels I feel it in my arms a lot. My arms are reaching up quite often, or like coming down but then back up. And there's this like trajectory of energy upwards. And then in other sections, I can often find there's like tension in the shoulders or the arms. Maybe it's like maybe we have hold like the gargoyle section. We're holding our faces in like gargoyle like faces, but expressions, and holding that for a while. And I find that like creates a lot of tension in the neck and the shoulders. Yeah, it's hard to hold that. It gets sweaty when we're doing like this like barking and like all the growling at each other. One bit where like we're just like charging through the space, like growling there, and I feel because we're really low in the legs, that's quite tiring on the thighs, like on the like our hips are really low to the ground, and we're bending the legs and like and screaming as well. So there's and our arms are quite like held, so yeah, lots of tension in that whole body.
Mayowa reflects on her favourite moment in the show.
Yeah, I have this like when I passed across the first time, I'm like looking at my right hand, and it's just kind of in front of my chest, and then I'm like basically like playing with that hand, like the movements that the hand can do, and the wrist, like kind of like it reminds me almost like I feel like when I'm doing that, I feel like I'm tripping on acid or something, and I'm like looking at you look at something that and then where you're in this psychedelic experience, it looks different, and I'm like, whoa.
We have audio described this moment from the performance.
Written audio description. Mayowa rises and stands feet together on the right. She swims her left hand in front of her chest, splaying the fingers as jellyfish tentacles. Eyes bright with childlike joy, she crosses her feet as she sidewalks, fascinated by the floppiness of her wrist. Sometimes face collides with hand, but always with a playful pleasure.
She wears a pale pink linen suit jacket with matching wide-leg trousers. The two-piece is baggy, oversized. The trouser hems touch the ground and the jacket slips off her shoulder often.
I chose the costume myself actually because I saw it. The costume designer was like, I tried on a few things and we were like, oh, this is okay. And then I saw her like pulling this like suit out of the bag. I was like, that's mine. I'm like, I'm gonna wear that. I love a suit, like something tailored, and it just like feels it's something I would buy. So I was like, it's a bit too big, but I think that works as well with the movement. That is like oversized. Oh yeah, I also have like a pink bra, or like just a bralette thing underneath it, so it doesn't the same color as the. Yeah, but yeah, I love it. I'm looking forward to wearing that again soon.
The suit lends itself to spacious movement, and Mayowa comments on how the sleeves hang when she stretches her arms out in an almost embrace, or performs long, sweeping gestures that undulate softly.
So moving softly feels really nice to do in that linen like light fabric that's draping and flowy. It's quite flattering to the for a mover to have something that's loose like that. And yeah, it does get a bit hot and it slides up a bit, but also in the piece there's lots of moments where there is quite the relaxed feel where you can adjust.
Elaine audio describes another moment of Mayowa's dancing, this time in a duet with performer Adrienne Ming, who goes by Ming.
Written audio description. Mayowa and Ming face each other, an intense, unbreakable stare. Standing at a diagonal towards the back right of the stage, the others stroll to the back, stand in a line, spectators. And Mayowa and Ming come to life, arms curving and twisting in the air, soft undulations, a current charging through them, like those dancing inflatables outside a petrol station, sending them into soft ripples, whole body swelling and dipping in ever closer proximity, as if propelled through water. And as they edge right to left, their ripples mirror and repel each other. Now towards the centre, the gap between them is closing. Ming's arms pulse near Mayowa's midriff. A hand brushes her thigh, her pale pink trousers, until, in a moment, they're connected, Ming's arms wrapped around Mayowa's waist. Mayowa hunched over, not fully committed. In a fleeting embrace, their rippling quelled. Mayowa thuds to the floor.
You can follow Mayowa's work on her Instagram at her handle @MAYO_WA0.